Welcome to the Super Bowl prop betting extravaganza recap. In the interest of full transparency here at the Hammer Betting Network, I'm going to walk through all the props that we gave out on Wednesday of the Super Bowl week. 23 different guests. Go through them top to bottom. Who won? Who lost? Did we turn a profit? Last year's show, about 6 units in profit, albeit all of that came from one person on the Jesse Bates recording an interception with the Bengals against the Rams. Regardless, it was a winning Super Bowl year. This year, not quite sure. So I will get into it. Quick thoughts and recap from me on the Super Bowl. It's a great game. I mean, from a neutral perspective, for someone who didn't bet the side or the total, it's kind of, everything that you could have hoped for, with the exception of a lame ending to the game. In real time, I did think that the James Bradbury holding penalty was a little bit soft. After having seen multiple angles now post-game, having heard James Bradbury come out, admit to the foul, the holding penalty overall, changes the perspective a little bit. I think they were very hung up on the broadcast on like the second potential hold rather than the original grab when the receiver was looking to make his cut. So it wasn't all that clear in real time. Ultimately, though, kind of a sour ending to what was a very, very good game, just in the sense that probably would have been a lot more interesting had the Chiefs been forced to kick a field goal in that spot on fourth down, and the Eagles had the ball to drive the field with about a minute left in the game there, or just over a minute. So great Super Bowl altogether. I think ultimately the market settled with the Eagles being a very small favorite, -1. Hard to argue that there was much difference or a gap between the two teams. I truly think that game was a coin flip when all was said and done. Great second half adjustments by Andy Reid, getting the receivers in motion, confusing the Eagles defense. Eagles, Nick Sirianni, I thought did a good job in game per usual, maximizing their chances to win with a couple of fourth down conversions, utilizing the quarterback sneak a whole lot. But great game. Now, did we or did we not win money on the Super Bowl prop stream? I'm going to pull up an Excel spreadsheet here. We'll go through it one by one, and we'll see what happened. Starting with Spanky. Now, listen, Spanky was kind of joking in picking heads. It's the funny thing about him giving out a coin toss prop at +100 is if somebody bet the coin toss at +100 for every single Super Bowl, that might actually be their highest expected value wager if they don't know what they're doing. Ultimately, though, the Spankster gets the L. $100 loss. I'm just using a scale of $100 here for every single play that came through. A base unit of $100. Total amount risked on the show, $3,366 to win $38,704 overall. We got the ROI in the bottom corner here, -3% ROI so far, having filled this in. I will defend Spanky, though. Anyone who was, a sleuth, so to speak, a little bit of a deceptive comment that he made, he did say to me that diamonds last forever. Diamonds last. Last song of the halftime show, Diamonds. Little hidden message in there as well. John Legueza, Devontae Smith, alternate receiving yards, 80 or more at +198, 90 or more at +290. He suggested an 80-20 ladder approach, meaning 80% of the bet goes on the 80 plus and 90% goes on the 90 plus, or 10% goes on 20%. Do the math, Rob. Goes on the 90 plus. Devontae Smith finishes with 100 yards. That is a winner. +2.14 units for John Legueza. Very strong pick on Devontae Smith. Ben Carey from Capwise. Quez Watkins, unfortunately, ends with one catch for 8 yards. This is a loss on over 12.5 rushing and receiving yards. A little bit unlucky. Jalen Hurts did make a very good pass to Quez Watkins down the field, but went through his hands at like the 5-yard line or so. Tough catch, but would have been a catch nonetheless to put this over. We get the L here. No one had a bigger sweat on Super Bowl Sunday than Kevin Davis. Will either team miss 2 or more field goals? No. At minus 750, Harrison Butker drills the upright on his first field goal attempt, but ultimately ends up winning it. 750 to win 100. Risky play, some might say. Some might say mathematically savvy play. But it's a winner nonetheless. Hitman. Kadarius Toney, over 23.5 receiving yards, minus 115. This one steamed quite a bit, up to 27.5 by game time. But Kadarius Toney did have the one catch, which was a touchdown catch for 5 yards. Outside of that, barely saw the field. This one, unfortunately, takes the L for the Hitman. Josiah Clark at Sharp Clark NFL. This was probably the biggest sweat-free win of the bunch. I'll go through it all. Under 5.5 total sacks, just 1 sack in the game. Really, really good pass protection on both sides of the ball. Offensive lines held up. Some people suggesting that the horrible field conditions might have had something to do with that. Regardless, this one is a sweat-free winner. Also closed at like minus 160, minus 165. So very good bet there. That wins. Colin Davey had to pivot on the spot. He was giving out his pick. I believe he wanted Justin Watson under originally at 20.5. I'm curious as to whether or not that won. That would have won because he had 18 yards in total. But he pivoted on the fly because that number was no longer available, and he went Jerick McKinnon under 3.5 receptions, minus 149. Jerick McKinnon finished with 3 receptions. That is a win for the Jeopardy champion, Colin Davey. Joe Osborne, Boston Scott, anytime touchdown. I appreciate the guys who come on and they look to take a flyer or a bit of a long shot and not settle for a huge favorite. But Boston Scott did not get in the end zone. He did get his 3 carries for 8 yards, but did not get in the end zone. So Joe Osborne of Vegas Insider. Can you tell I've had a rough night? Catches the L. Connor Allen. This was a pretty good prop play. It looked in danger early, so he played this at all the Canby books, Barstool, Unibet, Bet Rivers, North Star for those in Ontario. Patrick Mahomes, higher completion rate than Jalen Hurts at minus 120. Patrick Mahomes goes 21 of 27, 77% completion rate. Jalen Hurts 27 of 38, 71%. That is a win for Connor Allen in his debut on Forward Progress. Rufus Peabody, Pro Sports Bettor, went out on a limb here. Eagles not to convert a 4th down at plus 250. Mathematical play. Eagles go 2 for 2 on 4th down. Rufus takes the L this year. Pretty mixed bag of results so far. Tom Casale. So we had conflicting props this year. We had Tom Casale, Kenneth Gainwell over 18.5 rushing yards, minus 118. Couple spots down, we had Nick Costos, Kenneth Gainwell under 19.5 rush yards, minus 110. Could have had a middle at 19. It was very close because Kenneth Gainwell finished at 20. But Tom gets the win, and Nick does not get invited back next year, unfortunately, for the Costos. He will not get invited back. Unless, of course, Ken Barkley, his partner in crime, big times us again on Forward Progress this year, in which case Nick is welcome to join us. Jeff Feinberg, tough Super Bowl for him. He had a $14 same-game parlay that paid $18,000, which did not cash due to the only leg that did not cash was Devontae Smith anytime touchdown score, which, wow, that's a tough one to swallow. I think if Jalen Hurts just leads Devontae Smith a little bit more down the field or throws the ball inside instead of towards the sidelines, that's a pretty big cash for Jeff, but he does not get that, and he does lose this prop as well. Noah Gray with just the 1 catch in the game. Noah Gray takes the L, and we move into the red overall. Sam Paniotovich of Nesson, Fox Sports, Chicken Dinner. First half under 24 and a half, 120 to win 100. That was a pretty easy L, as there was just no defense for the most part in this game. Ian McMillan, who prefers to be called Mac Daddy, as his caption said on the broadcast. Sorry, Ian, for not calling you by your nickname of Mac Daddy. Patrick Mahomes under 294.5 passing yards, minus 115. Nobody really wanted to play that, but for those who did, wins effortlessly. 182 yards in total for Patty Mahomes. That is a win for Mac Daddy. Andy Molitor. I liked what Andy did on the broadcast because he basically came on, said that Drew Dinsick, the whale capper, gave him this play. So he kind of abolished any responsibility from himself, removed that completely. Jalen Hurts long completion under 37.5. That did lose a couple 45-yard passes. One was the touchdown to A.J. Brown, the other one down the sideline to Devontae Smith. So that one lost in style. But, Andy, we don't blame you. We just blame the whale capper, Drew Dinsick, for that one. Suma, Miles Sanders over 60.5 rush yards. I don't have to check this one. It was an L. With that said, a little bit, first carry of the game, he fumbles, goes to the locker room. He just didn't really have a presence in the game afterwards. 7 carries for 16 yards in total, the same amount of carries as Kenneth Gainwell overall in the game. So it's an L nonetheless. Chiefs' first reception, Kadarius Toney from Joey Kanish. Joey Kanish shoots for the moon, and he fails. And that's another L, grinding us down into a further hole here at minus $371 and minus 11% ROI. It's time for Joey Kanish to just stick to hit the books and college football at this point. It's just been too many losers across the NFL, dragging down the Forward Progress channel. I know he's a man of the people, but personally, I suspect that he is working for a sportsbook undercover. If I had to guess, he's acting on behalf of the books and not on behalf of the people, as judged by these terrible plays that he's given out in recent weeks. And he did want to mock Frank Brank when he came on because his name rhymes a little bit. It doesn't rhyme a little bit. It rhymes. But Frank Brank, easy winner. Hurts plus Mahomes, under 545 total passing yards at minus 120. That one never really in doubt because Mahomes was just very low on the passing yardage total for the most part. So that is going down as an easy win for Frank Brank. Clive Bixby, cross sport prop. Jalen Hurts, longest completion, 45 versus Jason Tatum, points 16. Wins effortlessly in style, minus 4.5, minus 125 at WinBet. Boom. Clive Bixby, my partner in crime on Forward Progress all year, doing the channel a service. Thank you, Clive. Matthew Friedman, I appreciate the long shot plays, 100 to win 35K. Unfortunately, Harrison Butker missed his first kick, and that wasn't happening. Off the upright, by the way. Not going to lie to you people, in interest of transparency, that kick off the upright, not good for Robert Pizzola. A real struggle. Okay, Luke Campanella, lay it with Luke here on the Forward Progress YouTube channel. Isaiah Pacheco, anytime touchdown, plus 170. Or as Luke would say, Isaiah Pachenko. 2 years, 2 underdogs. Luke Campanella, the big dog. The big dog eats at plus 170. Johnny from BetStamp, my co-host on the Circles Off podcast. Miles Sanders, under 1.5 receptions, minus 174. He got that one target, which some people thought was a fumble, was not a fumble. That's an easy W. No other targets for Miles Sanders. It all comes down to the pizza man. R-A-P. Jalen Hurts, anytime touchdown. You can cash it. First quarter cash. to bring us to a whopping $109 won for a $100 better, 1.09 units, 3.2% ROI on 4 hours of work here on Forward Progress. Another successful prop betting extravaganza. 2 years, 2 winners. We'll be back next year for the Super Bowl, hopefully. Hope everybody enjoyed the game. Hope everybody enjoyed the content we put out here on Forward Progress. If you did, make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe to the Forward Progress channel. There's way more to come in the offseason. A lot more to come. NFL draft content leading up to the NFL draft. Post-draft, we'll start to get into the offseason. How trades, free agency signings, impact teams, futures markets. A lot more to come. Just because NFL season is over doesn't mean Forward Progress here on the Hammer Betting Network is over. Thank you to everyone who tuned in. I'm Rob Pizzola. I'll catch everyone next time. Peace.